thing on? Can you hear me? Is anybody out there? Hey, tune in. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the homie Big Hank. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. And it's featuring the co-host Big Hank. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. Everybody tune in, you dig it? It's funny as hell, my dude. It's where we can kick it. Everything is going down. They about to do the most. It ain't a confrontation, it's a conversation, homie. Yo, on the weekends, Roy Anthony.
What it do? What it do? People looking at it like, yeah, that's right. Roy Anthony's back up in his out. Welcome to the Roy Anthony Show, based off of the Woe Entertainment platform that was created by Richie King, aka Redneck Pimp, co-creator Goose, our associate producers Blue Phoenix, Athens, always keeping it going for us, right? You know, the Woe Entertainment was based on for veterans that would come back from serving our country, and they would, you know, a lot of start committing suicides, and sometimes they don't know how to relate with situations. Our forum was based upon being able to have a conversation. That is not a confrontation, it's a conversation. We may touch upon something that you can relate with. As you remember, at one time when we first started our show, we would have guests, and not saying we want to start guests, but we found ourselves that celebrities always have a chance to speak up. But we want to be able to also shout out to those who don't have a voice as much. And that's what it has been successful, where people has been wanting to come on our show. They are loving to be able to speak upon the subjects that we have been speaking upon and astounded on. Want to say CO to our producer. That is the Native American language for hello. So I've been everywhere. You see, I got my globe, man. And I just flew in from Nashville, Tennessee. For the past 55, 60 days, I've been through Georgia. I've been in parts of Georgia that people who lives in Georgia that hadn't even heard of some of these other cities. I've been all through North Carolina, got to fly back to North Carolina, and through Tennessee. I just got back last night from Nashville. And I've been paying attention to something, man. I had never went past cotton fields. I had never seen stuff like that. I ended up was headed to Union City, Tennessee, and I was coming from Missouri. You had to stop at the Mississippi River, wait for a ferry, which the ferry was broke. So it took me almost 3 hours to get out of this area. And I was finally to think, put in Google gas station near me. And I found the gas station. They was like, oh, the ferry's been broke for a couple of months. And I had to drive down so many miles to catch one bridge. And I think about the history as I drove past the cotton fields and was picturing my forefathers out there picking cotton and everything. This is part of the history. But I'm going to tell you something. Every store, every city that I went into, sometimes I was the only black in some cities, and I was shown nothing but love. I didn't go as Roy Anthony. I went as just another person who, I'm a civil designer, so I work for one of the number one firms in the U.S., and they've been having me going out in the fields. And knowing that I'm a social person, right? One of the engineers be like, Roy, you're so sociable. I probably can cut our time down. But, what's the point of doing something? If people ask, I can't be snooty because that represents me and the company as well. So I try to be just as foregoing, like the word say, to treat people the way I want to be treated. And I'm going to be honest with you. I would show nothing but love, you know. Now, do we bump heads? Yes. But majority of every time I look up, the media is constantly keeping us separated. We don't want to talk about it. They give us what's going on here, what's going on there. And when I actually participate, I mean, I was in some backwood areas and I would actually stop, you know, in some areas where I knew I was the only black. But I felt as I was an American, you know, I was, you know, truly American. Now, some people, like our producer say, he must have tried to say, I tried to tell you. He said, I tried to yell you for real. But see, I'm a person who has to see for myself. You know, God has put me on a platform where I go around the United States and and every time I turned on the local news, they always want to show you some disparaging. But when I was out there, I mean, I was in little towns like Union City, Tennessee, Camden, Tennessee, Hohenwald, Tennessee. I was in West Jefferson, North Carolina. I've been in Albany, Georgia. And realized that everything that I put out, you know, I'm going to tell you something, for example. I don't work for Walmart. I'm doing assessments. And it was a little elderly white lady. And out of all the people that was around, she came up to me and asked me what could I help her find her car. And you could see that she was getting tired. She had been going around lots and she had a lot of stuff in the back. So I told her, I said, hey, look here. Yes, ma'am, I help you. You stand right here. I said, what type of car is it? And she told me it was a white Altima. So I walked around looking for a white Altima and I found one, but I didn't check the alarm. So I ended up guiding her over there to this white Altima. And about a minute later, I was back doing an evaluation. She came back to me and was like, that's not my car. So she was really getting depleted in her energy. I could see it. So I told her, I said, there was one of those wheelchair, you know, the store chairs where you can, not a wheelchair, but a store chair where they can shop and your legs ain't working. So I asked her, just sit here and I'm going to find this car. So after about 15 minutes of walking around, I clicked and I heard some beep and I looked over and it was this white Altima. I made sure that was it again, locked it back up. And then I went and got her and pushed her over to it. So she was so happy. You know, I could see that her energy was draining. She's an elderly lady. And I didn't even think about it. It was just natural for me to do it. And next thing you know, so she was like, oh, you helped me so much. And here, I want to give you this. And she was trying to give me $5. I said, no, ma'am. I said, I'm out of here working. I'm making money. You know, you cool. She said, no, I want to give you this. And she was serious. And I started seeing my grandmother coming out of her face. And she was like, you know, my grandmother, you would say, just say thank you. Because some is blessed to give than receive. She's getting a blessing. And then I found out I was blessed because the act of love covers a multitude of sins. You know how much sins I need to be forgiven. So any chance I can act love. Now I tell people don't take because I'm cool and nice for granted. You know, I was reading an article that some of us don't even want to nod our heads. This used to be customary, especially with blacks. We see each other, don't know them, but hey, what's up? Now you got some of these cats just looking at you like the world you talking. You know, that's just how. And then you want unity, and that's what I wanted to talk about, man. Because everywhere I went, it was always talked about that the judicial system is flawed. Hold up, man. One of them co-stars came in and stuff. What's up with you, bro, Big Hank?
What's happening with you, Roy Anthony? What's going on, bro?
Oh, man, you got it, man. Blessed as usual, man.
Yes, sir,
Blessed
man. How was your Thanksgiving?
man. Same to you, likewise, man.
Yes, sir.
You
All
know,
right, yes, sir.
I look at Thanksgiving though basically as something I do every day with my
Right, right,
family, with my friends. It's hard for me to situate myself with a calendar
right.
to remind me, but I know our family menus do. The biggest holiday I love is Christmas because I always look
Yeah,
at that. it was not just for me physically, but salvation for me spiritually.
Yes,
Because
sir.
if it wasn't for salvation, I know where I'm heading. There was a
Right.
train waiting for my name, right?
Yeah. You
So
was here. You was headed there with gasoline draws on. You was on
gasoline
your way.
draws on, slide down a razor
Yeah.
blade.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was
That's
right
what
behind. I
somebody
was right.
said.
I was right behind you. I was right behind
Like,
you. Yes,
wee!
sir. I was wee. I was on that one too. Gone.
Yeah, it's so mad. I was telling today, I was explaining that I've been going to the United States, man, for the past 50 days, besides what we did that weekend. I've been in 24 different cities in 3 different
Wow.
states.
Wow.
And it's been around towns down in the South and everything that
Mm.
I had never drove past cotton fields or anything.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, man, people just want to be respected for what they're doing. They doing, we have different way of talking. We have different way of hanging, but the end results are the same. We want to
Mm-hmm.
take care of our families. We
Mm-hmm.
want to protect them and stuff. But you got those
Mm-hmm.
ones that don't have it or don't have the mindset, and they always want to sit back and cause drama or lurk on it, right?
Right.
But before we get on main things, I noticed that there was a big conversation everywhere I went was about our judicial system.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and I put out there on our subject today is that if so many Americans feel that our judicial system does not work, why do we keep it still as it is? We don't want changes until something affects. You know,
Well, and I'm gonna just say this, man. It's the judicial system was set up by those who run it, and those who run it are the ones that's benefiting from how the judicial system is set up. It would be like if me and you set up of anything, any kind of I don't care what it is. Me and you set up a business. Our business
yes,
would it would kind of cater to the kind of things that me and you like. You know, the things that
yeah,
me and you kind of do. And so that's what we going through, bro. It was set up by them, for them, by them, and for them.
yes.
So they're the ones that win when it go down.
But see, and Richard King and them just said Donna De Ahoy, they
Mm.
must have to that means they later. Um and what you're saying is completely true, but sometimes it's like I remember Malcolm X said when the come home to roost. See, it's don't be where people and I can't stand this where saying they just woke now. These people woke. They talking about other whites, they talking about whites. They woke. How can you say they woke? What you saying? You want them to stay asleep or blind to what's going on? You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Until they start hitting their own, till it hits home.
right,
Cal Rittenhouse went, and this is our judicial system. He's a 70-year-old for one with an AR-15.
yeah,
Now, where I'm from, if my child was caught with something like that, I'm gonna be facing that prosecution
mm-hmm.
for one, right?
Okay,
Okay, he goes and he commits a murder. Now, he tried to say that it was self-defense, but not the first one. Now, I can see where the second and the third person he wounded, but not on the first one. There's some deeper stories into that. Because if you look up the guy he first killed, now these are all whites, but the
yeah,
first guy he killed seemed to me intentionally because the guy he went and killed, they had their whole family had been studying this guy because he got off on a sexual harassment case to one of their kinfolks.
mm-hmm.
Now, how he gets off of two murders and a half and the 17 and attempt to kill, and you don't even live in the city and stuff like
Come
that.
on, man.
This
Come
is
on,
the
man.
judicial system that I seen them throw three of the homies in prison for 10
Yeah.
years because of an abandoned gun in the car.
Mm-hmm. In the car, ain't used it or nothing.
Ain't
Just
used
got
it
it there.
or nothing,
Just
but
got
they
it there.
And see, you can't. The judicial system, when they say the lady of justice with the scales, she's supposed to be blind.
Right.
Because if I tell you the story and don't describe the color or you know what I'm saying, and
Right.
stuff, then it's supposed to be well, if you blinded me,
Right.
I'm just
All you hear is the story. You don't hear no color. You don't hear nothing. You just hear the story.
exactly. See,
Right.
if it wasn't if his name wasn't his name was Curtis Roundtree,
Right.
it's
But
not
his
Cal
name is
Rittenhouse.
but if his name is Najee, then she already know
Uh,
that probably ain't
exactly. It make it seem
Right.
like the windows of the justice lady is doing like this. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if you blind your eyes and supposed to be justice, how do a 17-year-old get dropped off by his mom in a city with an AR-15 if you're not
Right.
intent to kill?
Come
What
on,
is this?
man.
Is this rabbit season? No, it's duck season. No, it's rabbit season. No, it's duck
Right.
season.
Yeah. Hey, but how about our judicial system? How about the conduct of the judge? I think they was taking pictures together. I think they was doing all kind of stuff. Now I don't know no judges like that where I'm from. I don't have that kind of relationship with no judges. But this dude did. What kind of you know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
Because I had a traffic ticket. And me and the judge, and he said something. I'm like, what? Come on,
Yeah.
man. He said, you
Yeah.
want to be held in contempt of court for one. I didn't know what contempt of court meant.
Right.
He,
Right.
he said, say each word you say after this point is going to cost an hour. That's 2 hours. For what? That's 4 hours. Man, get that. I'm in there for 7 hours called contempt of court.
Yeah.
7
Yeah.
hours in the jail. That was contempt of court.
Mm-hmm.
For why? Because I'm speaking up. I thought we had a freedom of speech.
Yeah.
And see, this is what I'm saying about the judicial system. Now, you know what gives me Big Hank also add on there on the judicial system. We, especially as blacks, know how flawed it is, right?
Yes.
But
Yes, we
every
do.
time I look up, why is domestic calls being called to police? Police aren't no marriage relationship counselor. Somebody,
No.
when I think when people call the police on each other, they expecting somebody to get killed. Because that's a possibility, right?
Yeah. Sure is.
I was listening to the police and man, when people don't have their way, sometimes in relationships or something, guess who they call? I'm gonna call the police.
Yeah. But yeah, and they know what their intentions are. Their intention is to get rid of you. If they do that, if they do, yeah, their intention is to get rid of you. If they call the police on you, their intention is to get rid of you, man.
But you're calling the same person who I'm already questioning shouldn't even be a police officer unless you have a associate degree at least.
Right.
Alone, now you calling them to be a relationship counselor, a dispute settler.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Who
Yeah.
can go and have a
Honestly.
decent dinner after you had an argument and somebody called the police? Once the police call, okay, let's have those potatoes and roast beef.
No, not at all. Matter of fact, hey, as a matter of fact, you ain't even gotta call the police on me. Just tell me you're gonna call the police on me. I'm gone. You ain't gotta get rid of me like that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Just say you're gonna call the police. I bet you I won't be there when they get there. I bet you that.
And then look here, it is broke up a couple of
Right.
relationships with me
Oh
because
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
following you and stuff. Next thing you know, I'm like, yo, you
Yeah.
got with me. And next thing you know, I'm like, oh, you getting aggressive.
Yeah.
That easy?
Call the
You need to
police.
leave. This is over with. That's a contract.
Period. Yeah,
You know
period.
what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
I had a woman hit me and they called the police because she was scared I would hit her back. And so when the police came, they were like, well, ma'am, he's the only one out of swollen jaws. You hit him. He said, yeah, well, I just knew he was going to hit me back, but he didn't. So
Right.
what you want? I need her to leave because this relationship is definitely over.
Done.
Well, I looked at you trying to get me killed. Hey, before I continue, our other co-star, Christina, I don't like to share bad news, but her mother had a heart attack Saturday night,
Oh,
and she was
damn.
having surgery yesterday morning. So my prayers is going
Condol-
out to Miss
Yeah,
Christina
yeah, yeah,
Carter.
to the family. Praying for her
Yeah,
family, man.
yeah. I
Praying
see
for her family.
Miss Morris in the background. We're gonna bring her up in a little bit, but I want to say that, man, that you know what gets me, Mr. Big Hank?
Yeah.
People talk about the judicial system, like when NWA, artists, but they came out with fucking police and all that because it was a situation. We wouldn't have said that if we hadn't been through it. Now, I didn't need his song to go through it. Before his song came out, me
We
and a
was
couple
already
of
saying
brothers was headed home. We 14, and the police pulled up. Ain't nobody called Burger. They made us line up and then hit us in our stomachs and stuff, making us stand up. Like you, one of my
it.
partners said, "Man, that's why your wife ain't giving you none." And he beat him like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And these were
yeah.
black. These were black police officers,
Yeah.
you know. And so when we called them, now I tell you, I see all these people who be protesting something wrong, and it gets me is when I see the people who never try to do anything in their neighborhoods, but they see something nationally happen, like when George Floyd was murdered. Everybody all the way from our neighborhoods is speaking up about it. But my thing was, how many arrests have you walked by and you didn't say nothing? We were scared.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying me, but I'm just saying if no one spoke up when they seen me getting arrested. Question, why is that man sitting on the step? He's on the curb. He's a hard-working man. No, he didn't come to that.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as we crying about our judicial system, then we bring it into our homes. I told somebody the other day, and this is the truth. I tell any black who's listening. They say, "Oh man, you moving out the black neighborhood. You have never lived in a black neighborhood, dude. You lived in a neighborhood that was occupied more blacks. Let the police come, they're gonna be white officers. Go to
Mm-hmm.
hospitals, gonna be white doctor ran hospitals. You
Mm-hmm.
you 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 see up here go driver's license and everything. You going through that white DMV.
Mm-hmm.
We live in predominantly black neighborhoods with other minorities. But we don't live in no black neighborhood. Have you ever been where it's just the black? We have to be in Africa. Black police, black judge, black doctors, black. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then we have a knack that when we call ourselves, oh, we need to stick together. No, we need to be Americanized because that dollar don't. It's not a black dollar and it's not a white dollar. I can't understand that. Give to the man, spend the black dollar. Oh, man, you ain't print none of this.
Yeah.
Jesus said, "Render unto Caesar that has Caesar's image." Isn't that correct?
Yeah.
We talking about getting Harriet Tubman on the $20 bill. I don't know who's on the $20 bill. I just know I need to see that two and that zero. I wouldn't
Yeah.
care
Sure.
what the face is on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait a minute, she just came in. Our other co-star, I just spoke on her and stuff. What's up with you, Miss Uniqueness?
Hey. What's that? It said,
I just
how
talked
you,
to her about praying for your moms.
man? How you doing?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
We good, man. How the family? Everybody okay?
Everybody good. Everybody good.
Oh, all right. All right. Well, we
It
praying
seems
for
like
you and
she
the family.
yeah, she all chilled back and stuff.
Yeah. We
I
praying
don't
for
got no
y'all.
choice. I don't got
Yeah.
no choice. I don't have a
Let me ask
choice.
you a question, Christine. You've been in
Mm-hmm.
relationships. Have you ever? I was talking about how the judicial system is the same and how people call the police. Have you ever called the police on a relationship or domestic disturbance at your house? I remember. Wait a minute. You know what? I wasn't set up a question because you just had to go through this with your teenage son. I just
Yeah.
remembered that.
They ain't about crap. Half of them.
Now, I was bringing it up that when we call the police, what if, how would you have felt like if they choked him? put him in a chokehold and hurt him, would you
I would have
regret for him
reacted.
calling?
I would have reacted as a mother on how they handle him. Well, just speaking on that particular thing, because some of them they don't do it for their job. You see what I'm saying? They take stuff a whole nother level. They don't follow the rules of the job all the time.
Yeah.
So depending on who it is that's restraining him or how they restraining him, I may say something. But then too, I probably like, well, hell, he deserved it because he disrespect his mom.
And that's why I want you to. You just hit the key point, because isn't it like calling a lion to be a guard dog for your house? You know what I'm saying? If he gets hungry, you don't know how to control him.
Right.
I mean, we constantly see, because I've seen people. I was telling them where relationships have called the police on each other, and I remember this one couple in Long Beach. They was having a domestic problem, and somebody else called the police, and they ended up where they had to shoot the dude because he's in emotional uplift. Now, it gets me when a person is in emotions. Now, this is a police department. When the 911 asks you, well, what you calling for? Oh, he's yelling at me and stuff like that. You don't send a non-professional person to that. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Okay, if a person's about to commit suicide, who they send? A negotiator.
Mhm.
If you're a regular police officer, you be like, man, we gonna do jump or not, man? 'Cause you know what I'm saying? You got to send somebody who can work the assignment. If
And see, they
somebody
gotta
told,
look at it though. That's why they should take some classes in psychology. Anybody these days can get a badge, call themselves a policeman, right? So they really don't know how to handle the situation at bay. So it all depends on who it is.
well, then they will make me hesitant to call them because I don't see them putting this. This may not be the right situation for them.
Right. That's why
You know,
that's how I felt when I called the police on my son, and not only my son. When I was in an abusive relationship, I called the police on my husband beating on me and having a woman in the house and stuff like that, and I'm paying
well,
all
of
the bills.
course you had to call. That's a
So
point
I
to
called
call
them, right?
to
But
save your
then
life.
the sad thing about it is they the one took him away from the scene to his mama house. So therefore, you didn't fix the problem. You covered the problem up. Didn't
But see
act
that
on it.
that's the issue that what I'm saying is that I what I'm saying is, are we asking them to make a change and to do the things the way we want it to be done? Okay, I'm gonna say it like this, and I'm not going to, it's a conversation, it's not a confrontation. I cannot find myself calling someone if I know that I don't think they have. If you hear me saying that, I think they need associates or supports. I don't think they are marriage counselor materials or relationship materials. When the 911 dispatcher says we're going to send a unit out, it should be where we want to send, let's get a counselor on the phone to you and see if they can be, because police do not, we constantly keep saying this, we want them to de-escalate a situation. I have never seen a police officer de-escalate nothing. Now, if I talk sensible, he's talking sensible. He still wants to have that talk of control. I have never seen it de-escalate.
How many times have you called the police, Roy?
Man, oh my God.
I
I'm
ain't,
trying to think.
I ain't. I'm gonna tell you the one I called the police one time, and that was because I saw an accident I seen the accident happen. Boom, the lady crashed into the curb and she had some kids in the back seat. I was on this side of the street and I couldn't cross over because I was on a bridge. So I couldn't go help because the cars was coming and it was a bridge. And
Yeah.
so I called the police and said, hey, it was an accident on this bridge right here. I just seen it. It's a lady and the kids in the car, and y'all need to come help her out.
Well, you call 911.
That's what I call.
Yeah, now that's an emergency situation because they
Yeah.
can dispatch the fire department, the ambulance, or the police.
Yeah.
Now, this is what I'm saying. What you just said, Big Hank,
Mm-hmm.
if it's an accident, more likely they're going to send out the fire department and the police,
Mm-hmm.
especially the way you're describing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Someone's been hurt, more likely, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you call it 911, it's considered an emergency.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're having let's say, for instance, a romantic situation, because
Yeah.
that's where cats get emotions because they love, and cats don't know how to talk like, man, I love you without making it sound aggressive. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
temperament. I've seen guys where, like, I tell them, I don't know why you're hitting the walls because I ain't trying to hurt myself or that, but it's time to leave, right? I've seen guys hit the wall and I'm like, oh, you ain't the wall. He took out his frustration. You calling the police. Police want to tell you, hey, you want to calm down? Man, this man is in a love heart situation. If you
Yeah.
had any associate's arts degree in you, you would understand that he got a little feelings caught up. Just soothe him out. You feel me? You can't have a fire burning and trying to pour it out by putting the fire out by pouring gasoline on it.
No, that's not gonna happen.
If you look, I had to take up psychology and sociology. That lets me know. I know that this person has got his emotions caught up. I seen some hard coward guys and their woman. I said in my comedy thing, his woman was about to leave, and Joker flipped his whole script because he don't want to see her leave.
Yeah.
He don't know how to talk like
Sometimes,
that.
people do that. Like some people just can read people, and depending on who they are, and like some polices, I know for a fact, like they'll read you. They'll read you and see what you're going through, whatever the situation is. And then they'll act on it for the hell of it and cause put fuel on the fire too. So like you said, they need some type of degree to handle certain situations. You shouldn't send anybody out on certain calls.
Well, that's general because they just do a generalization. When you just said they read you, I've been through that. I used to tell a homie, if the police is behind you don't look behind. Don't look behind. If I tell you, please just keep looking straight. Like we're having a conversation. Don't look behind you because that's got me stopped twice. I said, what you stopped me for? Well, your partner was looking suspicious, looking back.
Mm-hmm.
That's what was told to me. See, I don't believe that police need to be wondering whose tags is expired. If you hear something getting called, then you get to that scene. What you doing patrolling through the neighborhood, asking somebody, why are you walking? It ain't said nothing like that in the police book. That's trying to grant your authority over you. That's why I say, look here, if you have any type of psychology, but we keep on ourselves doing this. We don't even police ourselves. Like as far as like, let's say if you live in the neighborhood, okay, are you gonna walk around? He's gonna be around. You got somebody who's ready to shoot him because he's doing his job. We scared of each other. So what first thing we want to do is still call the man. And then it gets me when I hear people say, okay, God forbid the loved ones gets killed to something. I can't understand this when I hear, oh, they're getting their justice has prevailed. I don't know how justice prevail. I don't know if putting somebody in prison as he done killed my child is called justice for me.
Right.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? I just don't know. When I see a police kill a person and they tell them, well, they got fired. That's the penalty I hear. I think that police officers should get double time of what a regular citizen did, because as a citizen, I have never took a vow to uphold the law.
Right.
I am held as a public person to hold the law regardless. But police take an oath to uphold the law. So
Okay.
when they break it, what penalty is they just getting fired? No, you should be doing double the time of what Little John and them would be doing getting because we didn't sign no oath to hold the law. You did.
Yeah.
And when it comes at somebody's back door, I was listening to this guy, this white guy this morning, his son, and then painted out a big old postcard. And he said, man, I didn't even think about it like this. And it says on there, what if your son didn't come home from getting a bag of Skittles? What if your son didn't come home from being at the community center playing with the toys? What, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It doesn't hit us until, and this is the judicial system that we are supposed to listen to. Like Mr. that Mr. Ahmaud Arbery, his family. They didn't arrest them guys that they just found guilty until after 2 to 3 months. He was a head on somebody's wall. The one felt guilty and he turned in the video. You can't live, you can't. I knew a guy who was a murderer, and he told me that when he committed his first murder, the spirit came and kept bothering him at home while he couldn't even go to sleep. And they call you a cold-blooded killer because when he got on his 7th murder, yeah, he was a hitman for a group. I ain't gonna go in details, but on his 7th murder, he could sit there and drink and listen to him. Calls you a cold-blooded killer. They don't affect you no more and stuff. There's no way you can take something that God made, especially he said, I believe in the man, and you don't have no kind of conscience about it.
Yeah.
You can be then you're a cold-hearted killer. You don't have no type of remorse is not in you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, drove through. That made me so upset. Here's this guy gonna drive through these people's parade, a peaceful Christmas parade, and he drives through there and kills 6 people.
Yeah, that's the world we living in.
You know? And what gets me is that I feel my white neighbors, my Latino neighbors, that it ain't about a race. I feel like America, the last time we got unified was on 9/11. That's when we was Americans against these terrorist attacks that's coming to kill. Because it wasn't just whites that died in those twin towers. It was blacks, Latinos, Asians, everybody, and
Yeah.
we was unified. But next thing you know, guess the worst thing that comes with the separation. It gets me when I hear police say us against them. What is that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I got an article that we're gonna be doing here probably next week. I've been digging up research. I research, y'all. I do a lot of research. I got sent by ABC and World News. They've been sending me articles since we've been doing this, y'all. It's amazing that you know, we don't get foul. We don't be talking about vigilance, but we ain't talking about being turn the other cheek. I only got 2
Yeah.
cheeks. I turned
No.
one. The Lord didn't tell me to turn both my cheeks. He told me to turn one.
Yeah.
That's shame on me. Now, if I let you hit me on the other cheek and I don't do nothing, that's shame on you. I only got 1 cheek to spare. Now, it seems like we're constantly turning our cheeks because we see a better day. I love America.
Mm-hmm.
And just like any other family, we got little issues inside. I have a problem with blacks killing blacks.
Mm-hmm.
What we killing each other for? It ain't no crack or no neighborhood you trying to run. Why are we shooting each other? And then there's always ones to do shooting. You catch them by themselves, they're crying. I can't stand that.
Mm.
I was in Memphis. We was in Memphis. They was mourning that rapper. That lets me know I'm not going around no. If I'm rich, don't expect me to come around your neighborhood. Nah, see me on TV. Get my homies. Guess what? I put them in a private jet and flew them to a remote spot.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And if
Yeah.
you go to the neighborhood, don't go where you in a sports car by yourself. There's jealousy. Cain killed Abel over jealousy. It gets me when we come to be so spiritual, but we sure depend on man to handle situation.
Mm-hmm.
We
Mm-hmm.
depend on man to handle every situation we go through, man. It starts with us. You got a domestic situation, somebody talking stuff to you, then you may be best for you to say, you know what, right, and I'm going about my business. If they put hands on you, then you got every bit of the right to go beyond that. If you can't beat them with, I was raised, my mother would say, if you can't beat them with your hands, because I had like a small nature, I was slim. I got to live around these big chitlin juice drinking mothers since they was babies, green collard greens in the baby bottles, coming out big and mother, right? Guess what? If I couldn't be with my hands, guess what I picked up? Or a stick or a rock. Then I'm going to work. One time I took my belt off and I whooped the dude with the buckle part. I couldn't. He was a big old tough guy, but when I started working that belt like nunchucks, for real.
Yeah.
I was watching that movie, y'all, the King Richard,
Yeah.
and he went out there to take care of his daughters. Dude was saying some foul stuff, right?
Yeah.
And when he went to go handle them, somebody else came through. And then that person told King Richard later on, he said, man, we got you back, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Black Panthers was a police force for our black neighborhoods. And the FBI didn't like it. They break up the Black Panthers, and we secretly start the Crips, Community Resolution in Progress in the
Yeah.
blood.
Yeah.
That was
That's what it
for
was.
us protections.
That's what it was. That's what we listen. When it first started, that's what it was all about: protecting the community, protecting the mothers, the mothers, the widows, the mothers, the single mothers and daughters. That's what we were supposed to protect.
Yes.
Yes.
Community Resolution in Progress.
Community Revolutionary in Progress.
Yeah. And then the Bloods on the west side was a family. You be a blood family. Now, man, let me tell you something. The devil knows why they always work on any groups. If any group they want to divide, and I had to say this, they always want to do the blacks.
Yeah.
I see the Asians get together. They have their own banks and stuff in Chinatown. They doing all their stuff. When I seen that movie, Kirk Russell,
the Stoners.
Huh?
They was called the Stoners. The white dude, they had a little gang called the Stoners.
Yeah,
they ain't trying to break them up. They ain't trying to break them up.
Exactly. Even nowadays, I see we're gonna have the leader of the Proud Boys. And
yeah. Oh,
and I don't see no one break them up. I don't have no problems with it. They never came to me. Everybody has their views, right? But when people say, I hear people like, well, blacks, I gotta do for ourselves. We did. What happened to your soldier in the spirit? When you're in the war, if one drops that flag, there's supposed to be another one who's going to pick it back up.
Yes, sir.
Our leaders, we still reflecting on people like Dr. Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and stuff. But what about today?
Yeah.
I don't want to go to no church and hear you playing no tambourine. I can get the message and stuff, but there's stuff to do out here in these streets. I was just telling him, Big Hank, how you get the clothes, and so I said I was coming out. I got $10,000 worth of suits and stuff that I was going to have clean so you can have them out, because Big Hank is a pillar in his community.
Yeah.
That's why God kept him in a nice house right in his community.
Yes,
and
sir.
It's not ghetto looking. You go in this, I wouldn't be surprised Big Hank go down that whole block and make sure the trash is in people's young people. For real, it is clean.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Nice community.
He can yell at you from down the street. When I showed him at his house, he was in front of that. Hey, I've been on my way. This is clean walk. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You don't need the police to tell you how to keep your neighborhood clean.
No, no, not at all.
I'm tired of these parents talking about I'm scared of my child. Well, if you scared of them, child, why you ain't did? You should be calling the police on your child, like, hey, he's causing havoc in this neighborhood. Don't send him out in the neighborhood and back, because then when somebody else put their hands on you, now you're crying.
Yeah.
What do we do about our judicial system? We keep saying it since Rodney King was beat. We thought that now people was find out and understand. Then they find out that it's the same.
Yeah. Yeah. Man, I wish we could change it. I don't really think us as a people, I don't think we can change it. We have to, because you got to start, man. We tried the voting ain't changing it. Ain't none of that changing it, man. You dig what I'm saying? That's because they holding the purse string, so they controlling it however it go.
This is the thing. They don't want you to say nothing. I be like, look here. I'm gonna tell her like Moses. Moses didn't want to go face Pharaoh when he said, let my people go. He was like, look at me, who am I? You know what I'm saying? I was raised pampered. Lord said, hey, I'm gonna be the mouth.
I
He was
got you.
still nervous. He said, I'm gonna send Aaron along with you.
Yeah.
Look here, man. You know how many blacks and Latinos are in prison for marijuana? And
Yes, sir.
they constantly legalizing it for themselves.
Yes. Yes. Come on, man. Come
We
on, man.
look here,
Come
y'all.
on, man.
I
Come
want everybody
on,
to
man.
understand this. You hear someone go to jail, whatever, their whole world, it was something. And if you ain't been in their shoes where you had to go to jail about something that you know that it wasn't fair, whatever, don't say it. But when you're sitting up here making an infrastructure, the infrastructure is not created overnight. That is something that is planned. All of a sudden, I'm gonna give you an example. 3030, for over 20 years, there's an area not too far from his house where they have arrested blacks over the years for selling marijuana. Well, guess what they do? They open up a dispensary right in the same area.
Yeah.
They got their data and say, hey, this was a hot spot for marijuana sales. Well,
Yeah.
we'll put a dispensary there and woo
Yeah.
woo woo.
Yeah.
Private sanctuary prisons. If you and I are invested in a prison that holds 5,000 people, and we're telling the state, well, we at least would like to have 3/4 maximum capacity. We're not looking at it like these are human beings. We're looking at the
Numbers.
flip side so we can get that money
You're looking at numbers.
at numbers. These are called private section prisons. All three of us can own a prison. We
Yep.
follow the standards of the United States and the state that we're in and everything and stuff like that.
Yep.
Guess what? I don't see no blacks saying, hey, Your Honor, we got more black as millionaires in our generation right now. In this past 10 years, we got more black millionaires. Why we don't get in our own private judicial systems and say, hey, we're going to train them and send them like that? In the past 5 years, people, if you don't understand this, it used to be wasn't a fear of going to prison with a misdemeanor. Now you're going to prison with a misdemeanor. The third strike was a lie. That was so foolery. You couldn't do nothing without getting your time tribute.
Mm-hmm.
What's the difference of a life sentence or I'm sending you to 400 some years? That's life. Who am I, Methuselah?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we accept it. But we keep calling them police. I seen this one dude, this girl, his baby's mama called the police. He wouldn't even do nothing, but she'd get mad and assume that he's out in the streets. So she attacked him, calls the police. Police, so they find, she tells him, oh, he got a gun too. And they find the gun and stuff. Now he goes to prison. She has the nerve to go want to visit him. He has the nerves to allow the visit.
That's that Ike Tina Turner love, man. That's that Ike Tina Turner love.
Okay, Ike, Tina, you talk about Ike so bad. Well, okay. So if he was doing like that, why didn't you just go out in front of everybody?
Right.
Didn't even sing it right. You sung that joke with passion. You could have went out there. Left a good job in the city.
Yeah.
Sing, Tina. Why should I? I was whipping me up so much. I want the world. No, she was up there.
Yeah. Yeah, with a black eye and everything, with her shades on and all that shit.
Hey, could have left a long time ago. Wait till them royalties were signed. They're like, yeah, I get away from, I'm not knocking them and stuff. We got Miss Moore. Miss Moore, did you want to come in? If she want to come in, I'm gonna bring Miss Moore in. Hey, how
I'm
you
here.
doing, Miss?
How y'all doing?
All
Hey,
right,
Miss
thought I'd bring
Moore.
you in a
I'm
quick
good.
sec.
Hey, sweetie.
What's
How
up, Miss
y'all
Moore?
doing? I was
All right.
not a whole lot. Getting it in. I hear the sun. All that good stuff.
I
I'm
see
just
you.
listening to y'all. Y'all got a great topic going on. And it's always good to be in the background listening, even when I don't participate. So just letting y'all
Yes,
know that
sir.
I love y'all and I appreciate all y'all do. And y'all
We
keep
love you
doing what
too.
you do.
Love you
We
too.
love you too.
And
We love you too, Miss
Yep.
Moore.
I love y'all. So I just want y'all to know that I'm always, even though if I don't come on to the show, just know
Oh
I'm in
yeah.
the back and I'm always
We know it.
listening.
We know it.
Yeah.
Okay, I got you. All right,
We
love you
know it.
too and
All
stuff.
right.
I'm gonna take you on back to the back.
Hey,
All right.
that sun shining on you just right, man. Got you
Baby,
shining
don't
like you look like a model. You look like you
That's
modeling.
good.
You modeling? You a model?
I am. I am. I'm modeling for Jesus. That's what I'm
Get it.
modeling
that
for
melanin in
Jesus.
your
That's right.
skin is
Get it.
standing out like a mug,
Yeah,
boy.
she's shining over there,
Thank you
shining.
so much. Thank you so
Hey, you
much.
see her hair
Thank
going in
you.
front of her face, she's doing
Yeah,
like this.
yeah, that's that. that's
That's
I'm,
right.
that's that model
gotta
look.
get
That's that
right.
model look.
I'm getting
Throwing it.
right. I'm getting right now. Y'all get right. All right. Y'all love y'all. Y'all keep it going.
Love you too.
Okay. I'm listening.
Love you too,
Okay.
man. Love
All
you
right.
Yep.
too, man. Love you too, Miss Moore.
Love
Yeah,
showing
man.
respect to everybody, man.
All the time. Yes,
You know
sir.
what? You know what, Big Hank, man. People been paying attention to us, man.
Man, you got the platform, man. I love what you're doing, man. And I'm gonna tell you another thing you be doing. That when you be going in there and getting on the internet and finding out these different subjects, man, you do a lot of what's the word I'm
The
looking for, man?
research.
Research, man. That's the
Yeah.
word I'm looking for. Keep doing that, Roy. That's inspiring, man. You always gonna touch on the right subject, man. So I love you for that, man.
Yeah. Well,
Appreciate it.
when we was in school, especially in college, we used to have to write thesis
Of
papers.
course, of course.
And I would get a knack for studying because what's the saying goes in the streets, it's better to be thought of as a fool than open up your mouth and remove all doubt.
And move
Always,
all down, yeah.
yeah, we need to always be able to have facts
Yes,
when
sir.
we state anything. And I always let everybody know, man, me and Big Hank, man, we got love for everybody.
Yes,
Oh, Big
sir.
Hank, we got a 5 stars from the Airbnb. They said that we were the perfect tenant and that they would rent to us from now on.
Wow.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
the response I got. Let me tell
That's
y'all
good.
something, man.
That's cool.
If you follow the rules, because some people get things just for that moment and then they like forget it and they burn the bridge, then you can't
Yeah.
come back to it again. Me and Big
Right.
Hank had a show last weekend in Memphis and we had an Airbnb and they had particular rule. Of course, no
Right.
smoking in there. So we had
Right.
a patio to go outside there. They said empty the trash and make sure. So we left it decent, washed the dishes up, made it like it was our home.
Yes,
The
sir.
guy said he was so impressed because it was for blacks.
Yeah.
It was a white neighborhood. Wasn't
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
And guess what? We didn't show no animosity. They and the neighbors even gave us a response like they was cool. We
Yeah.
stayed to our own,
Yes, sir.
you know. But we didn't get this way being dumb. When I was a teenager, I didn't understand the authorities, the police, and all that. You know what I'm saying? I thought like, hey, oh, okay, if I did something, you caught me, take me to jail, you got me. I didn't know all the extras that
Yeah.
had to come. The war on drugs was a blasphemy because I don't still don't see no planes, even though there's a Compton airport by Big City. I have never seen no blacks go in there and get a plane and go to Nicaragua and Colombia to go get drugs and bring them to the neighborhoods.
Bring back to Figueroa.
Yeah, and create a infrastructure that it would drop in every black neighborhood in Latino neighborhoods in the U.S. But Big Hank, you had that model down. You had that infrastructure
No,
where
I
you
didn't.
go around the whole United States.
No, no,
You
no,
know, for
no.
real.
We had no.
You know what
We
I'm
had to,
saying, though, right?
we had to get our cocaine from the white dude. He had the cocaine. That's what we had to get the cocaine from.
You see what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
see, they flip it, and
Hmm.
our judicial system use that. Let me tell y'all. Let me tell America something right now. In the world, if you listen, the most tragic part is when you are doing something on purpose to set this person up so you can take this person away.
Yeah.
I've seen where there's a police officer in Kansas City, Kansas, who was a retired captain. They looking investigating him because it was it was a few murders under his thing that couldn't be solved. They found that he done murdered some of these black women and was throwing the black men in prison for cases that they did not do.
Hmm. Yeah.
Now, on our show, we're not against all whites, not against all blacks, and not against all Latinos.
No.
I'm for anybody who respects me and I respect them.
For what's right and what's wrong, man.
What's right,
Justice.
what's wrong.
That's
Because
right.
when it comes down to blood transfusion, I ain't looking at what race you are.
I don't care about none of that.
I
Yeah.
may not even care about if you was O2 and all that. Do it like the Cowboys day. Ties them up and cover the blood. I don't care if I'm A negative and you B positive. I
Right.
deal with that itch later on.
Later
I need
on,
to
need
live.
some blood. Need some blood right now. Need some blood
Like, damn, my
right
house
there.
itching. You be like, man, well, your blood is A negative and I'm B minus, but you want to live. Yeah, I'd rather live than have this uncontrollable itch. And I'm not caring
Yeah.
what race you are.
Yeah.
There was a philosopher back in the days who said, if I be cut, don't I bleed as well?
Yeah. And we all
Don't I
got
hurt
God. We all got God's blood in us, man. That's it.
in us?
That's it. It ain't no special kind. God's blood.
Yeah. And I used to be, I'm not lying. I was very segregated sometimes, you know,
Hmm.
but I'm gonna tell you, I can't, just like my dog. Okay, one time I can't be that dog that is like a Akita. My sister-in-law at one time when I was with this woman, her I called her my sister-in-law, but it was a girl I was dating, and she gave me an Akita.
Hmm.
And after a month or two of feeding him and stuff, one day the dog didn't want the food and kept growling at me. So I told her, you had to get him because I'm gonna have to kill her. You don't bite the hand that feeds you.
Right.
Now, some of us go to a mental part. I
Yeah.
don't talk down at white folks because they the ones who gave me some of the jobs that helped me obtain where my creativity skill is, right?
Right.
Doesn't mean that I'm gonna be like, oh yes, sir. No, they respect me and for doing a job. I respect them to do their job. I don't have to feel like, okay, well, since I work with the white guys, I need to eat mayonnaise now. No, I tell them I eat hot sauce or barbecue sauce,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I'm still working with it.
Right.
And it
So
just
good.
amazes me though when we call though, sometimes we have to look at ourselves and really understand um, if we're gonna get this judicial system worked on. I don't want us to start talking about the judicial system while we wait for another caper of violence or something from the police hands, or
Hmm.
I see the judges sitting up here, and I seen where people was aghast. How can you get away with a couple of murders in this judicial system, and you walk and be nice to pedophiles, but if you think I'm reaching for a cell phone or something, you shoot me because you was fear of your life when you had your hand on your gun when you approached me. If you were scared, leave me alone. You know, I'm a police officer. I'm gonna be like this on the bullhorns. I need you to step out the car. I need you to put your hands up. First, I need you to pull everything out your pockets and put your hands up.
Yeah.
Please answer the question. Are you armed? Are you a threat? Will you try to hurt me? Okay, sir. I'm stepping out. There you go. Case solved. You feel me?
Nigga said case solved.
I don't think I'm gonna cooperate with you with a gun right at my waist level.
Right.
You got the benefits on me. Let me step out, sir. This isn't that part of helping the judicial system? Stop getting out and running for your life. Call me out with the bullhorn. If I don't comply, then you call the other team. You got a reason now.
Right.
But anyway, man.
Yes, sir.
I think that if we all try to show love, because I went around and I was the only black, and man, I told you not, man. I never felt uncomfortable. Now, a couple I walked by some foul auras, but I wasn't felt uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Now somebody probably hearing like, well, I make it uncomfortable. You'll find out because you can't mess with God's show. He's not ashamed of me and Big Hank because we sit up here and honor God. We just don't care about what you think.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Well, Big Hank, man, what you got going on, man? We about to get up out of here. What you got going on, man? Let people know.
Nothing too much, man. I got no, we got a funeral at the church Friday. Then we got another program Saturday. I got to have the parking lot cleared. They're having a pop-up Saturday at the church, man. I forgot who's doing it, but it's a young lady. She went to high school with us. Tanya Brown and Rosie Turner. They're having a big pop-up, man. They do it every year around December. So the church always had a parking lot for them.
That's this Saturday?
That's this Saturday.
Man, because I was just saying I'm getting out there. I got to go down to Georgia, North Carolina for some inspections, and then I was flying back out because I was going to come serve. But I was going to talk to Dr. Williams about us doing a gospel comedy show there.
Yeah, that's no problem. That's done. We gonna make that happen.
Yeah,
we're gonna make that happen.
We got some stuff, man. Brennan Peters is working on that performance we did down there. I mean, he sent me the cover, man.
Yeah.
And man, I read one of the captions, and I claimed that too. One of your friends wrote a caption to you.
Oh,
he
yeah?
said, man, I can see. He said, keep paying your tithes. I see you on that TV. Let me tell you, Big Hank just don't pay tithes with just money, though, y'all. He pays it with his time. I've seen deacons at major churches don't work half as hard as this one work. The neighborhood, you need clothes, he is there.
I got you, man. Yes, sir.
He got a trademark of clothes. Anytime a funeral, they know, call Big Hank.
Yeah, we're going to make it happen.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
People love him. And the thing is that as wretched as we were, and coming to that enlightenment, that's that being awoke.
Yes, sir.
Knowing that the power of God is with us.
Yes.
And and we, sometimes I look at you and me, we the two thieves on the cross, except we both are in agreement. I ain't gonna be the one.
Please take me with you, Lee Jesus. What I gotta do, man? I want to go with you.
Big Hank, why you howling at that, man? You see up here, man. I don't know why. Man, go and take your death like I am, man. Jesus.
Jesus, I don't know what he talking about, Jesus. I don't know what he talking about.
I'm with you, Lord.
I'm going with Jesus, man. I'm going with
you,
Jesus.
Man. Hey,
Yes,
look
sir.
here. When there was nothing else, I was saying this before we get off. I was saying this. Somebody said, "You sure to deep with God?" Let me tell you something. If you've been through what I've been through, and
Whew.
there was nobody I could call, no,
Nobody.
I didn't have a cell phone.
Yeah.
I'm talking about in modern times. Within 15 years, didn't have a cell phone. Couldn't look here. Only one I could call, and they said call them on the hotline. I said,
Call
Lord,
Jesus. Yeah.
I got to use this payphone through my heart. Help me. And as soon as I said, help me, as soon as I said, man, I have nobody else to do, for real. I mean, I have nothing. That's when you kissing pavement all the time. Nothing. The police know you don't have nothing. They don't mind. They look, take me to jail and then let me right back out. Usually I have to go to court to have a fire. Oh, he broke, man. Let him out. He don't got nothing.
Get that nigga, give him a sandwich and let him go.
Yeah. See, I walked out that county jail with 2 of those packages of peanut butter and stuff. I had a couple of Hill bread. I'm
Yeah.
like this at the bus stop trying to squeeze in you, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't know when that next. But when I kept calling on God, the next thing I know, so I would be foolish. They be like, who put that in your head? Nobody.
Nobody. I found out for myself. Found out for myself.
Somebody asked me the other day, man, Roy, man, what you do? How did this happen for you, God? I'd be lying if I took the credit.
That's right.
But you're measuring me up because I drink that Remy Martin and Stella Artois and smoke. I just be like, Lord, I don't want them over on our side of heaven because they're gonna be a killjoy. If he made wine in the grapes from this natural earth, just think what it's gonna be like up there.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
Oh man,
Yes,
God
sir.
bless you, man.
God bless you.
Your whole family, man. You know, you stay uplifted, man. And we got a
Thank you.
lot of work ahead of us.
Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go,
man.
Roy. Yes,
And
sir.
I'm with you, man. So I'm gonna bring, I'm about to bring up always gotta bring in my man, Big Ski and everybody, man. I've been loving how everybody's been holding it down though.
Yes, sir.
With our with the talents and everything. So Big Hank, man, it's an honor. God bless you, man. And I'm about to bring in our solo act. God bless, bro. I'm out.
All right, man. Love you, man. I'm out.
Love
Hey,
you, bro.
this thing on? Can you hear me? Is anybody out there? Hey, tune in. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West Coast. The Roy Anthony Show. It's the hottest show, homie, on the West